Hello, everyone. We will not be saying TikTok time to rock this time because today sucks. We had a perfectly normal live stream planned for 5 o'clock, and I was with another channel starting at 3, recording someone else's podcast. So was over there, and right before we started the podcast, Hatun had messaged me and said Charlie Kirk was just shot. So I did a quick search for it, and what I found was that he was in serious but not critical condition. And so that's what it said then. And then I went ahead and did the podcast, and we were starting the pod. Right before we started the podcast, the guy goes, I heard Charlie Kirk just got shot. And I said, yeah, but he's in serious but not critical condition. And the guy goes, well, if so, that's really good, because that's very different from what I just heard. And so didn't know what was going on. We recorded for about an hour and a half. And then by the time we were done recording that, it had been announced by Donald Trump that Charlie Kirk was dead. And I'm technically a psychopath, so I was like, okay, so should we just mention it at the beginning of our live stream at 5? And you were like, what are you talking about, man? I can't think about this stuff right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's no way we're doing that stream today. This is pretty devastating. I'm at a loss for words. I had heard that he was shot, and then on X I saw like a thing saying that he wasn't life threatening, and then I saw the video clips, and I was like, it'll be a miracle if he survives, because he got shot in the neck, and you just see the blood pouring out. Then I was seeing that AP News reported that he was in critical condition. People were saying he was stable. Glenn Beck had posted that he had a pulse. I was like, okay, this is good. And then shortly after that, I saw a couple news outlets saying that he had passed away. And I didn't believe it at first, because I was like, no, AP News hasn't said anything yet. So it's got to be people are just trying to call it early. But then, then Trump tweeted that. And yeah, it was over at that point. And yeah, I had just met him a month ago. Had dinner with him at a restaurant up in Phoenix. Yeah. I'm at a loss for words. I cannot believe what has just happened.
Yeah, and let me go ahead and share a tweet from AP, who just did a podcast with him. And what AP here say, he said, I met you only 2 months ago, man. You were immediately like a friend. You brought me on stage and let me say whatever I want. That was what stood out to AP most, was he said, they said, here's your block of time. And they didn't tell me what I was allowed to say or not allowed to say. They just let me say whatever I want. And he thought that was really, really impressive. He said, you stood with us. You showed strength. You helped millions. Millions love you, Charlie. You are alive. May your memory be eternal. And here's AP. Not sure if this was they're obviously on stage, but I know they did a podcast and they were on stage. So
yeah, I met him a month ago, just before we went to New York. I actually drove up to Phoenix because Turning Point USA Faith interviewed me for their podcast. So the host Lucas had me on his podcast. I don't even think it's out yet. And then after, we were going to have dinner. And I didn't think Charlie Kirk was going to be there because his flight was delayed, but he ended up getting there on time. So very intelligent guy. I was definitely impressed, because if you hear all the leftards all over the internet, they'll just say he's an idiot. And this guy is sitting down with us at dinner and he's quoting Hegel. I'm like blown away by how intelligent he was. He's having conversations with Doug Wilson, on the nature of predestination and how it plays into church history. He's pulling up theologians that, people that you and I would only like care to talk about, but he's pulling up names. And him and I talked about the problem of evil a little bit. He complimented one of the arguments I had against it. He thought that was really good and powerful. And then he took off because he was going to go home to spend time with his family because he had just, he just got back from New York. So, here's somebody who was working his ass off, a hard worker, very intelligent, and was super excited to go home and see his wife and kids. Not in any way the left has painted him. He loved his family. It was very obvious. He loved what he did, and he cared about what he was doing, and he believed in what he was doing. And they shot him for that. Because when they couldn't defeat him with words, they picked up guns like animals.
Yeah, it is interesting that that was the most common. Fortunately, it's changing right now because when He's Dead started trending right after it was announced that he was dead, I looked because I thought it was going to be news reporting that he was dead. It was like 50 in a row. It was like people saying he's dead and drinking champagne, people saying he's dead and posting all these celebration clips and stuff like this. Everyone saying he deserved it because he is pro Second Amendment and therefore it's justice that he gets shot with a gun. This is interesting. It'd be like if I say, hey, I have a right to have kitchen knives, and then someone stabs me with a kitchen knife and everyone, yeah, you got what you deserve because you support people's right to have kitchen knives, therefore you deserve to be stabbed in the throat with a knife. That's kind of the reasoning. You support a person's right to bear arms, therefore you deserve to get shot with a gun. What was most disturbing is how many of these people there were. There are apparently tons of people who believe that if you believe in the Second Amendment, then you deserve to be shot. And when you are shot, they will celebrate and cheer for what happened. We also have a famous tweet from Daniel Hakikachu now.
Of
when
course.
When people were saying, pray for Charlie Kirk. So this is earlier when people said, hey, pray for Charlie Kirk. He just got shot. He said, I'm praying for Palestinians, not the Zio-Christian genocide mongers who have profited from calling for their extermination.
Over 8,000 likes.
8,000 likes. 8,000
When
likes.
When the Muslims say they love death, you better believe them. Just know that that's what their religion is about, how much they love death. It's like, what is it in Proverbs? It says, all who hate me love death.
Pretty wild stuff. Pretty wild, wild stuff. But I'm trying to think of Daniel here, so I won't pray for that person. It's pretty wild territory to get into because once you're saying, hey, that's the same reasoning as the people who are celebrating his death. It's just a different issue. It's, I disagree with you over the Second Amendment. Therefore, when you die, I will celebrate your death. If it's Daniel, it's, hey, I disagree with you over Israel. Therefore, if you die, good. These are some interesting times because one of the defining features of modern Western civilization when it was actually working was, hey, we've gotten to a point where we don't think that anyone who disagrees with me should die. It's like we can have disagreements and still get along. We can have disagreements and discuss them. Think about this. He was literally on a college campus giving people the opportunity to debate him and prove him wrong. That's kind of become like, that was for a while what we wanted. Oh, we have disagreement. Don't kill each other over the disagreement. Like, debate it, like argue it, prove that you have a better point. And that's really cool. That's exactly what he was doing. I will sit here in the middle of a college campus, and any one of these students or professors or anyone who wants to disagree with me can come up and explain why I'm wrong and why they're right. And we can have a nice, friendly discussion. And one side said, no, you don't get to do that. We will kill you. We will kill you. So we're just back to killing people over disagreements, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are.
I've been told for, decades, or at least a decade, by Hollywood and the media, that the radical right, the far right, is the problem. And it just seems like they're the ones that are always going out on doing all sorts of crazy stuff like this. Like that Catholic school was just shot up, a month ago? Then it's wow. I'm just like, and the whole Second Amendment thing is just showing you how everyone wants to make this political. Yeah, just go ahead and ban guns. That'll solve all the issues right away. It's not a mental health issue. It's not a political divisiveness issue. It's just because people have access to weapons which they use to defend themselves. I'm lost for words. Like, this is immediately people are cheering and saying this is what you get for defending the Second Amendment. I'm just, yeah. Okay. Let's just also say that somebody commits suicide who was a free speech advocate, and they commit suicide because they were getting bullied by thousands of people and telling them to commit suicide. And then one day they gave into depression and commit suicide. And then everyone said, oh, well, this is what you get for defending the First Amendment and being a free speech proponent.
Yeah. Pretty weird,
nope.
wild,
No one would blame the First Amendment. We'd blame evil people. But when it comes to this issue, he was shot. Therefore, it's the Second Amendment's fault. I mean, I'm just always reminded that the founders of this country said that our democracy, our republic, is for a godly Christian people. And when we step away from that, this is the kind of crap that happens. And that's not coming from me. This is coming from Jonathan Roch, who is of Jewish descent. He's a gay atheist, and he just wrote a book called Cross Purposes. I interviewed him a couple months ago on my channel, and he was saying that this same stuff. So
yeah, and we've talked about that in the past, but yeah, all the founding fathers said that in one way or another. They all said, hey, we're making a constitution, giving you certain rights. This only works for a certain kind of people. If you just take this as, here, we can do whatever we want with the freedoms we have, the whole system is going to break down. It's going to break down. Mm-hmm. And people did not heed that warning.
I'm still at a loss for words. Again, I'm just rattling stuff off my head. Mm-hmm. So if I say something offensive, I'm really not in the mood to hear about it. Kind of a little pissed off still. Oh, because again, why? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to point out. So one thing, people, someone were commenting about. AP made a video earlier, then took it down. Yeah, I think his video earlier was after Charlie Kirk had been shot. And I think at that point, AP was just saying, hey, pray for him or something like that. So I think AP was probably taking it down, and it's probably going to make a different video. Let's see. Did want to get this criticism out there. Your tweet on Candace, talking about me, guys. Your tweet on Candace was out of line, man. It was supposed to be out of line. Wasn't the time. It was supposed to not be the time. God bless everyone. Yeah, so he's talking about, I posted a comment right after the shooting on Candace's page, and because Candace said, hey, let's all pray. And I said, Candace, 5 minutes later, it was the Jews. So people say, that's the wrong time for that. It was supposed to be. That's an imitation of what Candace did after the school church shooting. When was that? It was like a month or two ago. When, someone went in and shot people, and then Candace instantly posted, this is a psyop of the blah, 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 blah. And I said, the bodies aren't even cold yet, and you're already posting a conspiracy theory about the whatever cult is behind this and so on. So anyway, I'm pointing out, I will do that to Candace. And I think there's about an 80% chance she is going to blame this on Jews somehow. So anyway, wanted that on record before she does it. And I'm imitating her. She does that every single time.
No, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I would agree. It's just not the time. But I mean, I also just, I'm still pretty pissed off. So I don't have enough emotions to care that much at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. It's not the time. I agree completely. That is out of line. That was the point, though. That's the point, though. This is what you sound like, Candace. Anyway, so I'm sure I'll get back to this when she most likely blames the Jews. All right,
Yeah, whatever.
let's go ahead and watch a couple clips, and then we'll check out some tweets. So, guys, took a while. It was, what is it, New York Post, I think? I think it's a New York Post. I was looking for clips that covered stuff where they weren't actually, where they had blurred out blood and so on, because did not want to show that. But anyway.
I saw the far away shooting, and my first thought was he's dead. That was a kill shot, and you see him go back, and then I saw the close-up shot with the blood pouring out, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be a miracle if he survives. So when people were saying that he's in critical condition but stable, I was like, this is a miracle. And then because I do not see him surviving that. And sure
Yeah,
enough,
so I saw the post about him being shot, and like I said, I was about to go live, and I responded to Candace and so on, but when it was just oh, he's been shot, and then same as you, I saw serious but not critical condition is what I saw, and then I was thinking it was like when Trump got shot, right? Like they glazed him or hit him in an area where he's going to survive, and I was thinking you guys just destroyed yourselves, because now this guy's going to be 5 times as popular. He was already crazy popular. He's going to be 5 times as popular if now you guys are taking shots at him and so on. Then finish the podcast and he's dead. So different story. AP, how you doing, man? You actually knew him. Oh, IP knew him. I was the only one here who didn't know him.
Yeah, we both kind of met him. I don't know, man. I'm not good with these things. I get really messed up. So, I was gonna go live again if I get an update, but then I didn't. I didn't want to. Now I see you guys live, so I just wanted to say a few words, about him. So, you see Muslims get angry, or Muslims celebrate this kind of stuff. You see Muslims. I've seen many Muslim posts by now celebrating it, saying to me or to you and others, you are next, and things like that. They are loving it. They're celebrating it. Some of them are even living in the West while saying that kind of stuff. And I really wonder why they don't go into their holes that they belong into. But and then I see another section of people, which are the leftist, anarchist, socialist, pro-Palestine people. It's always the same circle, and you know why that is. It's during the very brief time that I met Charlie, he messaged me first out of the blue, and I was very surprised. He messaged me on Twitter first, and was like, "Hey, would you like to come on my show?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then he said, I saw you talk to Pints with Aquinas, and it was very nice. I would like you to come and speak, long format and so on." And it was just, it really came out of the blue. He was just offering that. And then I messaged him back that I would like to meet him in person at the event that he's hosting for Turning Point. And then he didn't respond to me. And next day I get a call from his team that I'm supposed to be on stage speaking at Turning Point, and also doing an interview with him on stage as well. So that's my experience with the guy. He didn't know anything about me. I didn't have much of a contact or relationship with him. He heard about me once, and then
that was it. He saw a podcast with you and it's like, "Hey, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about."
And he just decided to just bring me on. Didn't even tell me. Told his team to just bring me on and look up my stuff and all that, and brought me on there. Gave me a slot to speak. Didn't tell me anything at all about what I should say and shouldn't say. He just put me up. I could have said anything there, but he just put me up there. Just gave me the opportunity to just speak my mind and ask me questions and all that. And he also said to me in person, and then later also posted about it, and said, people don't realize, but this is the whole Islam thing is the biggest problem that we need to talk about. We need to wake the people up, and we need to talk about this. We need to do something about this. He said
Yeah.
to me, and also on he also posted about it later on. But this was important to him, and he pointed it out to me personally. At the same time, he also started or launched a project of which we were all supposed to be involved in, or which we are
Yeah.
all going to be involved in actually.
I
Which
don't
is
know if
about
it's still going on, but I'll check with him in a
We'll have to
week or
find out.
something.
Yeah.
But I don't even think we've announced this yet. But I mean, we might as well just say it.
yeah, it's a project about Islam where we are supposed to be all involved in, which Charlie Kirk specifically personally cares about and wants to, wa- cared about and wanted to be pushed out there. And um,
It was a course. He wanted to put together a course on debunking Islam, and we were just talking about it over the weekend, getting stuff set up. I was talking to his people this week about who to be on, what topics to cover. I was just on a phone call yesterday about it. I mean, it's so I don't know if it's still going to happen, but I mean, everything is up in the air now. So, but yeah, he cared about Islam. He recognized it as a problem, and he wants us to fight it. And guess what? We will definitely keep fighting it. If this has in any way made us want to stop, you don't understand what you've done.
and
You do
they
not
also
know the fire that's coming.
they also didn't like him because he was with Israel. When it got really popular to jump on the anti-Jew and anti-Israel train, he repeatedly stood with Israel. He was a friend of Israel. He was a friend of Benjamin Netanyahu and all of the Israeli government and their struggle against what they're dealing with. So, of course, the Muslims and the far left, they all hate him because of that, and many of them are celebrating it. This is why Daniel Kikichu, the pedophilia advocate, and all the other pedophiles, they love the fact that he has been murdered because he stood by his values that he represented for so long. And I don't know, there is a time and place for everything, but this is something that he deeply cared about, and that he told me, that he told the public. He said this is the biggest problem that we should be dealing with, the whole Islam thing. So him being brutally murdered now, it just encourages me to take this problem even more seriously and to highlight that it is what he cared about. And I don't know. Aside from that, I just want everyone to support and stand with and pray for him and his family. It's all of us and our feelings aside.
Yeah. Here, let me share my screen. This is the guy you just debated, AP, and you're going to be debating. Dean responds is saying no sympathy for a dog like him.
Well, no sympathy for Bill.
These are the people that that supposedly want us to come to Islam because it's just the best thing for humanity, and they love us so much they want us to convert, and that's why they're trying to do dawah. And this is the kind of crap they say when someone who is a critic dies, is shot.
No sympathy for their demographic.
Yeah, let me just see what he said here that drew this. So this is obviously this is the worst thing he's said.
And look, he's replying to Sneeko, pray for Charlie Kirk, and what does Dean say? No sympathy for a dog like him.
And Charlie Kirk's crime was, he said, the deaths of women and children. And keep in mind, this is September. No, this is October of 2023. So this is October 17th. So this is 10 days after the October 7th attack. And he says the deaths of women and children in Gaza are the fault of Hamas, not Israel, just like the deaths in Japan during World War II were the fault of Japan, not America. When a government engages in unprovoked, murderous aggression, they are to blame for everything that results. So he said this 10 days after the October 7th attack, when people were already saying, hey, people are going to be dying in Gaza. And he's saying, well, you just started a war. That's why. And this means, according to Dean responds, no sympathy for a dog like him. And I will just let me something similar thoughts. Well, not exactly similar, but here we go from Daniel Hakikachu now. Let's see. He just reposted someone saying, saw the Charlie Kirk video and slowly realized how it's basically the first video I've seen in 2 years on my feed showcasing blood and gore that wasn't of a Palestinian. And look at Hikikachu. So he shares a tweet from Benjamin Netanyahu praying for Charlie Kirk. And Daniel says he's probably the one who ordered it.
It's just
I,
it's like they look at everything. How can I use this to push my agenda? Well, now I can start blaming the Jews. He's not even dead yet. Let me just start blaming the Jews. Like, you people have any empathy in you? I mean, any?
no, of course not.
No, and by the way, that's the reason I wanted to quickly post my completely inappropriate response. Was after they all do it, I wanted to say, see, I told you they're going to do it.
They arrested the they initially arrested a wrong shooter, which some people
Yeah, I
think
saw
was
they
a
I saw
decoy,
they hold the
but
guy. I saw they had the guy, and then I saw they didn't have the guy. So what is that?
they just arrested the real shooter. The FBI just announced that the shooter is now in custody.
Any info on him? Because the original, they had looked like an old man.
I got
Looked like an
some
old
info.
man on the
No,
ground.
the thing is, there was a suspicion that either the man was involved in something else and things got confused, or the man was a decoy or something like that, which would mean that this was a more serious operation. But there's no further information. The FBI director just says that that they arrested the real shooting suspect. More information about that will come in.
They have
You know-
arrested him.
Yeah, they have arrested the real shooter.
Okay.
So
There was
That's good.
if you want to put my screen up, David, there was a weird
shall.
tweet people found the other day. Someone named Omar said, "Let's just say something big will happen tomorrow." Speaking of the Charlie Kirk event. Now I went to this guy's actual page. It says these posts are protected, so he obviously shut that down. But he also says he's a non-binary goat of all time. Then it says I'm 17, and there's a picture of a Mexican flag. So, not sure much about this, if this is related or if this is just someone being wishful or if he just knows something. But this is what I found.
Yeah, it could just be someone running his mouth, and then oh darn, it actually happened. People are going to think I'm involved.
Oh, I was going to put my other screen up. I put the wrong thing up here.
Yeah,
This is what I found here. Here, I can put that up there. This is what I mean. This is, see the same name, and as you can see, he says he's non-binary. And of course, we can't see his tweets. Don't know if that's a picture of him or not, but that's what I got.
So let's go ahead and check. As I mentioned, what's up, AP? You want to say something? Look like you're about to
no,
say
the
something.
reason that I didn't want to go live is it's difficult to handle, but also because I feel like I'm just going to say very, very bad things that I would
saying
regret
bad
later.
things. You don't even know who's responsible yet, man.
So no, just in response to things that people say. So
People are saying
I will just leave you guys to it, and I'll just leave for now, and maybe post something or go live later or tomorrow or something. I don't know. But so I'm traveling tomorrow. I would ask everyone to pray for me, and and it's this might be even bigger. This Saturday we have a huge event in London. On the 13th, there will be a rally organized by Tommy Robinson and many other people. So I'm going to be there. Lots of other people will be there. It's going to be big, and this will only fuel more of that.
yes, it will.
But hey, I'm leaving. Okay.
All right, man.
All right, man. See you. Bye.
All right, ready to check out some videos. So, wait, dang. Yeah, you sent me a clip of Charlie's daughter coming up to him that everyone. So this is a clip that everyone's been sharing. That everyone was sharing on Twitter, and IP said we should look at this clip of him and his daughter.
Yeah, let's look at the clip of Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, you don't know if you need audio, but it gets kind of loud. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it does. I will turn the audio down some. So this is daughter?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, remember that's who Dean Responds says is a dog, and he no sympathy for him. That's the kind of people they're celebrating that were just killed, and it's not like Charlie was celebrating the death of women and children in Gaza. He just said you should blame Hamas for this. But that's enough for someone like Dean Responds to say, oh, good thing he was put down, this person. I just want everyone to know what type of people Dawa breeds. This is the kind of crap we're dealing with. Daniel Akikichu, Dean Responds, who celebrate this kind of stuff. And you know they're all gleefully excited in their Diddy Dean chat that Behind the Veils is going to expose soon. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and so guys, these are obviously the same people that would be celebrating if we were brutally murdered. Why? Because we criticize the most obvious false prophet in history, that child molesting, murdering, rapist, Muhammad. Shame on us. And man, yeah, guys, Charlie was one of the first people who was taking, I mean, as far as like very, very popular conservative speakers, who was taking Islam seriously enough to say we need to start making people understand what it teaches, what's in its sources, and so on. You've had lots of people who are, oh yeah, Sharia's bad. Oh yeah, we don't want to be, terrorism's bad. You've had lots of people like that, but no, who actually said we need to get some people together, go through the sources, and put together an entire training program so that young people are raised knowing what they're up against and how it's going to try to deceive and subjugate them and so on. We need to equip everyone in the West to be aware of how to respond to this stuff. That was the guy. You've had lots of us who are saying, hey, you guys need to know this. It would be really good if people know this. Everyone needs to know this. We are doomed if people don't know this. People for the most part do not listen to us as far as like actually trying to do something about it. But he caught on. And that's him with his daughter. And don't know if his daughter's been told what happened yet. But
I can't even imagine that, having to say that to her. This is the evil we are up against, folks. But again, the media will say that any conservative Christian is the real problem, even though there's no evidence of that sort of correlation in sociology. But yeah, this is what we're dealing with now.
So here's this was a clip that was also circulating right after it was shot, where people were saying, this is the guy you wanted to shoot. He seems like he's just interested in friendly conversations and so on. So here's Charlie, ladies and gentlemen.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what
this is. I think this is a woman who came up to him, was like, "Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing with all this stuff?" And he explains it. So this lady, what's this bit for?
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what.
Look at this. I have challenging conversations. Why? Why would you do such a thing? Why would you do such a thing? Why? Well, lady, if people don't communicate and have these discussions, then we go back to we disagree and we just start massacring each other.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
All right, so let's let he's going to explain things to this lady, or try to.
Because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully. Because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do.
And they literally kill him while he's having one of these public debates. I mean, think about this. People are offended. How dare you set up a table where people can challenge your ideas and people can go back and forth and discuss an issue? How dare you do that? And we're supposed to have our group over here, and you're supposed to have your group over here, and the only interactions we're supposed to have is murdering each other.
And there's even people in the live chat like Caleb N, who said, rest in piss, Charlie, because this is how evil people like you are, Caleb. You don't actually care about humanity. So I don't ever want to hear someone like you tell me that the way you vote is because you care about humanity. If you actually cared about humanity, you would not be saying this stuff. And I hear this kind of crap all the time from leftists. They care about humanity, and then they go around saying this stuff. No, you care about yourself. and you just want a system that benefits you, not actually people. This is the kind of people we're dealing with here. People who say that we're the problem, that we want to actually harm humanity, and then they go around doing this kind of crap. Don't tell me you care about humanity if you say that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's seriously amazing because, I mean, think it would be one thing. It would be one thing. Still not acceptable at all, but it would be one thing if you had some leader that you don't agree with, and he just goes around spouting completely evil, false things and never gives anyone a chance to respond. And you're like, this guy is saying all this evil, false stuff, and I have to go murder him, right? Compare that with, hey, I'm here on college campus. Anyone who thinks I'm wrong about anything can step up to this mic and challenge me. And you're like, that guy has to die. It's kind of an admission that you don't think you could win in a discussion or refute any of his points, right? I mean, it's like glaring when you're saying, hey, here's a guy who shows up, open invitation to anyone who wants to argue with him or refute him, can step up to the mic and prove him wrong, give him any kind of evidence you want. And someone says, no, we cannot allow that. It's kind of an admission that you think your side of every issue is just going to lose if it comes down to debate. And therefore you turn to massacring people.
Yeah, it's not like this was a guy that was calling for anyone's death. Just all the Muslims attacking him. It's not like he was celebrating this kind of like anything going on in Gaza or anything. He blamed Hamas for it. And that's enough for you to say that he deserves to be shot like a dog.
Yeah, I guess what? Big picture, so do I. I blame Hamas. You can always say, hey, Israel shouldn't have done this particular thing or that particular particular thing, or they shouldn't have dropped that bomb because they should have been. You can always say things like that. But big picture, who's dying right now and who's been dying since October 7th, who wouldn't still be alive if they didn't start this big war and if they didn't have the tactics that they use. Namely, we're going to go over this border, over it, under it, through it, and we're going to slaughter as many people as we find. We're going to take a bunch of hostages. Then we're going to run back and play hide and seek near hospitals, schools, churches, and so on, and wait for the retaliation so we can say, oh, look, we're victims and stuff. Who's that on? Who's that primarily on? So you can say, okay, well, there's always some blame for people who are pushing buttons if they don't target well enough or something like that. But big picture, who's that primarily on? I would say Gaza, obviously. And so creepy stuff, because guess what? If he deserves to die over that, well, that's the perspective of anyone who blames Hamas for the attack. If you blame Hamas for the October 7th attack and you say they shouldn't have done that, and therefore they brought the retaliation on themselves by doing that, according to these guys, you deserve death. You deserve horrible, bloody death. All right, let's listen to this lady and her powerful words.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults, the left.
Look at her. Who are you facing violence from? Who? Saying people like me are facing violence and threats.
Assaults, the left. Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Now you've been murdered.
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess he's a prophet. I mean, this is exactly what happened. This just goes to show
Matter of fact, I'm going to play that again because that was, I mean, he's definitely more of a prophet than Muhammad ever was, because he crushed that one. That's exactly what he said. We can't talk, then violence. And then he's the one. So I'm trying to talk. He's literally there saying, I keep wanting to talk because that is the way to avoid violence. Once we give up on talking, then all that's left is violence as the solution to our problems. And people responded, we choose violence. That's what they said. They choose violence. All right, play that one more time because that was really good.
I go around universities and have challenging conversations, and because that's what is so important to our country, is to find our disagreements respectfully, because when people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
I've never seen someone do this.
Well, it's a growing trend because people like me are facing violence, assaults, the left.
The left.
Yes, the campus Antifa. I've been stormed out of restaurants. I've been assaulted publicly, multiple death threats.
Okay, so what's your goal in all this?
There's more people that agree with me than some people would actually believe, and they come out of the woodwork when I do stuff like this. We record all of it so that we put it on the internet so people can see these ideas collide. When people stop talking, that's when you get violence. That's when civil war happens, because you start to think the other side is so evil and they lose their humanity.
And notice he is obviously trying everything he could possibly do to prevent violence in civil war. How? Dialoguing. Let's have conversations. What does the other side do? We need to shoot him. And they prove his point. Who is the more mature side? Who is the side that cares about protecting the innocent and preventing war? But yeah, he should die like a dog. Yeah, that's what we're getting from people like Dean Responds, who doesn't care about human life, just wants people to die who disagree with him.
Well, he is serving a prophet who thought exactly that.
Yeah, I'm still total loss for words here, but this is exactly what happens. And again, we see so much violence coming from the left. It's insane at this point. I mean, what is Antifa? It's on the left. They tried to take over like Portland and Seattle, and they set up like these communist zones in those cities in the past decade or so. It's what was it? What was it, like a day ago? Didn't BLM put out a video saying that, black people are justified in committing violence against their white oppressors? Like, who's the side that actually wants to save lives? But they'll attack people like us and Charlie Kirk because we're pro Second Amendment, as if that's what we want.
Well, yeah, and that's the crazy thing here is like the criticisms when again, this was a couple hours ago. Fortunately, again, it changed when it's the trending topic was he's dead, and I clicked on it. When I clicked on it at first, it was all people celebrating his death, and it was some of the criticisms were because of Israel and Gaza. Most of them were just he supports gun rights, he got what he deserved. He supports guns, so he got what he deserved, and so on. But here's the really, really stupid part about that. Do you think anyone's going to say, wow? Do you think anyone who believed in the Second Amendment, who believed in the right of U.S. citizens to bear arms, do you think anyone on that side is going to say, wow, Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed, therefore we need to not have guns? Do you think you've convinced one person? No, they're gonna be like, we need more guns to protect ourselves from all the people who think it's good to kill us now. That's the response most likely response you're going to get. I can guarantee you. So weird how these things tend to do the opposite of what people are trying to accomplish here. But again, we don't know anything about the shooter. There are multiple possibilities. There are the most likely sort of scenarios that you can think of, but there can always be something else. So we'll have to wait for more information to come in. But here's Charlie Kirk right before the event. Fortunately, it's New York Post that was posting stuff while blurring some of the images and so on. But this is before any of this stuff happened. It's just like setting up and stuff. Let's see. Gosh, that is a huge crowd, man.
Yeah. If this people think this shooter shut this kind of stuff down, you've just created 1,000 Charlie Kirks. You think like people that were there, those conservative MAGA hat wearing people, are just going to go, oh, I guess I should just go get a job. That's not how this works, bro. You've just angered the political right in ways you do not understand. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, everyone's just going to go up. I guess we lost. We're now just going to get up this whole political fight. You just created a million Charlie Kirks in Britain, in the U.S., in France. I mean, like, this is not going to end. You just made this worse for yourselves. You just made everyone more angry on the right.
Absolutely. And that guy, I mean, everyone on his side and a lot of important people really seem to like him. You think they're gonna warm up to your? Again, we don't know who the shooter was so far that we've seen. But once details emerge, whatever group he's from, do you think people are going to warm up to your group and say, "Wow, you know what? Maybe these guys have it right," or will there now be a war by powerful people of influence and so on to crack down on whatever you're from?
Yeah, and you remember Trump. This was Trump's friend. He's in the office. He's the president. Like, you think these people? I mean, like this. What? No one is going to come away with this being purely rational. People are going to be emotional and upset. Thanks. Like, you're just making the world a worse place with this kind of stuff, because now we just go back to the cycle. You did this to us. We did this to you. You did this to us. We did this to you. This is not the way forward. I can only hope and pray that people on the right take a high road on this and try their best to be tactical and not lash out with return violence. No one should return violence for this. The law should handle this kind of stuff. But I just worry about what the ramifications are.
All right, here's some more footage of Charlie and the crowd right before. I think, what did it say? Did it say how long before? Charlie Kirk posts video moments before reportedly being shot. So this is right before it, guys. This is right before it with the crowd here.
That's a lot of people, Utah. I'll tell you what.
That is a lot of people.
All right, we're going to get started, everybody. You know how it works. Question and answer. Also, thank you to Lane from Wire Refi. That was great. Really appreciate it. And we're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
Did you catch that? He said, bring the best libs that Utah has to offer. Open invitation. Open invitation. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer to debate him. And someone shot him for it.
Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
Just think about this. I mean, if you really think you can school this guy on some point, you have a golden opportunity. You're instantly viral. All you have to do is step up to the mic, have your buddy beside you recording, and crush him with some awesome argument that you have. He'll be rendered speechless by your powerful argument, and you're instantly viral. You're the instant hero of the left. And no, we're not going to do that. Someone's got to shoot him instead.
Well, I mean, they tried to kill Trump last year. I mean, how many more are we going to have to go through with this, of these insane?
Well, sounds
that
like
are trying to kill over political disputes.
Yeah, sounds like the theory is they'll just keep shooting us until we all agree with them, and that's the system. And I don't think that's going to actually work. I think you're just going to tick off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of excited people on a college campus, man. I have to say, again, we'll have to wait for more information about the shooter and so on. But looking at that, you can see why someone would say this guy's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and he's just embarrassing us every single time. So you know what? We're going to stop this, because look at this. This is just growing and growing and growing. And guys, if you what we were talking about earlier on and what the founding fathers said, they said, "Hey, we're establishing a constitution and we're laying down a list of rights here. This is only going to work with a population that handles this responsibly, that takes this seriously and handles this responsibly." You had John Adams, who said the Constitution was only made for a moral and religious people. It will not work for anyone else. In other words, if you become the population as a whole becomes immoral, or even in the most part, or even to a large degree, the system is going to break down. And you had a ton of founding fathers who talked about it in terms of virtue. As you have these freedoms, you need to constantly be emphasizing handling things virtuously. If that drops away, the system is going to break down. It will not work, right? So right now, in our lifetimes, we are in the middle of the system breaking down. And once the system starts breaking down, and it's exactly what they said would happen. It is exactly what they said would happen. When it's breaking down, you have two directions you can go. You could say, no, we insist on not being virtuous and not being moral and so on. And therefore, we have to break the system down and build something else that we want. Like for lots of people, it's like socialism or an Islamic state or some communist utopia, something like that, right? So that's one direction you could go. Guys, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We need to let it break down. And then you have the Charlie Kirks, which are basically, hey, it's breaking down because we've lost that connection to virtue and morality and so on. So we need to get back to that so that it stops breaking down and we can actually fix it and put it back together. Well, guess what? If you want the imaginary communist utopia or the Islamic State or socialism or something like that, you can't let him do that. You can't let him restore the system to working in all its glory, which is you have these freedoms, but you're handling them responsibly. You can't let it go back to that. You have to stop it. So you cannot allow this to happen. If you allow this to happen, you don't get whatever you want to change America into. You don't get that. And therefore, they can't allow it. They can't allow you to actually be, this is hilarious. They can't actually allow you as a population to be virtuous, moral, and religious. They can't allow it. They can't allow it, because if you do, then the system was made to work for a population like that. And they don't want the system to work. They want the system to break down so they can replace it with whatever it is they want. So a few more seconds of this.
And you also, well, real quick, you also got to remember, I mean, Charlie Kirk was a pretty strong Christian. He tweeted all the time about why Christianity is true, why we should be Christians. I mean, he's a martyr at this point. He was not doing this stuff because he wanted power or glory for himself. He thought this kind of stuff would save America. If he can change the culture, he can save the country. And, you know, like, I totally agree with a lot of the stuff he did. I'm very conservative in how I approach things. I'm not saying I agree with him on everything, but I definitely would have been far more in agreement with him. But I mean, like, when I met with him, we were in agreement that the way to save the country is to make more people Christian. And that's what he wanted to do. Again, to all the Muslims and leftists out there, just remember what Tertullian said. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the new church. You think all those people in that crowd there are just going to go away and not be impacted by this?
I think they're going to be pretty pissed off.
There are millions of people that are pretty pissed off. And this kind of stuff is what leads to more people becoming Christian, unfortunately. I wish this wasn't the case, because I wish that people would just accept the truth without these kind of events, but this kind of stuff has ramifications. And we started seeing little bits and pieces of a revival within the past 5 years since COVID. This is just going to help accelerate that kind of stuff. And I've been thinking about this for a while. I think over the next 40 to 50 years, we're going to go through the fourth great awakening. I mean, the first one, the second one was just before the Civil War. The third one was in the early 1900s, late 1800s with the social gospel. Robert Fogel said a fourth one happened in the 70s, 80s. I don't agree. I think we're going through the fourth great awakening, the beginning of it. And yeah, you just create a martyr. Okay, millions of people are going to go, or who may have never even heard of Charlie Kirk, are going to go watch his stuff. Are going to go look up his tweets. They're going to see so much more of him. You've just basically assured that he lives. He now goes down in history as a martyr for the Christian conservative cause. He will be remembered as a hero. He will be remembered as someone who died for what he believed in, and it will create a million more people like him. So maybe now the lesson should be, if you disagree with someone, you shut up or you debate them, but resorting to violence just proves his point.
Yeah, and I'll just say to everyone out there, if you're a Charlie Kirk fan, you have, I would say, an important obligation to go harder than ever. As a lesson to people, it's just like after
without violence, no violence.
Yeah.
Stay away from violence.
Yeah. Not talking about violence at all. I'm talking about whatever is enraging people enough to where they say, we're not talking. We're just going to kill you. It's like after people are killed for making cartoons about Muhammad. What are you supposed to do after that? Everyone's supposed to make cartoons about Muhammad, right? That's what everyone is supposed to do. You're supposed to do it and let people know, hey, if your goal was to stop people from making cartoons about Muhammad and that's what you were killing people, guess what? We're going to do the opposite because we need you to know that you will never get your way through violence. You're not going to get your way through violence. Now, sadly, the approach in the West for many decades has been, okay, if you're jihadi's going to kill people over this, therefore we'll give the jihadi what he wants. You don't want us talking about Islam, fine, we won't because that's what you say. You don't want us making cartoons about Muhammad, fine, we'll take them down and so on, which simply encourages more violence. You've just told people the way to get what you want is by killing people. That's the message that you just sent them. You have to send the opposite message. And so in this case, it would be whatever Charlie was doing, you guys need to do it more and more and more. And you need more of this so you want future potential murderers to know, hey, violence will only lead to the exact opposite of what I want. Therefore, I shouldn't turn to violence. That's what you want.
Yeah, it's not like we have anything to worry about. We're going to be resurrected anyway. So I have, it's this light momentary affliction is passing away, as Paul said. So Charlie is not gone. Just means he's working from headquarters now and no longer on the front line. And I don't think you want that.
A few more seconds of this. Let's see what's going on. Big crowd. Wow. It's him throwing the hats around, people loving it. All right, so that's right before he was shot.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they shot him. They know they're losing the political war, so this is the kind of stuff they resort to. It's like, I remember watching Bill Maher, I think a couple months ago. He was saying, look at what happened. The conservatives control the White House, Congress, the judicial, the Supreme Court, so the judicial system, and so it looks like some people on the left are panicking, and they think this is going to fix their situation. It's you just made it 1,000 times worse for you. No average American is going to see this and go, yeah, this makes me think the left is sane.
Let's check out the little clip of him being rushed away right after being shot.
Yeah, please don't show the blood shooting one.
No. That's why I looked specifically for clips where they had covered stuff up.
Stop, folks! Stop! Back up! Easy! Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
So that was the scene right afterwards.
Yeah, it was kind of loud.
Yeah, but that was them. So it's covered up, but that's them rushing him to his car. There are video clips of the actual shooting and the aftermath. I'm not going to show that, even with the stuff blurred out. But it's there for it's there. It's all over the place. It's not hard to find for anyone who wants to see it. But that's him being rushed out. Crowds were seen running and screaming in panic as the terrible scene played out at Utah Valley University's campus. I would say Utah Valley University. You don't want to do anything immediately except for like have a vigil there or something like that. But after people have had their time to mourn and things have died down and so on, you need to have a big event with plenty of security to let people know that this is not the way to get what they want and this is not the way to silence people.
Just I want to report something here. It looks like Dean Responds deleted his tweet.
Did you screenshot it?
I screenshot both of them. Because
Good.
he made one. I screenshot it. I'll put up my screen here. So let me just here. I want to put up what I because of course I screenshot this. I think we're gonna let that get away with. So this is what he deleted. He has deleted that, and it's no longer on his page as far as I can tell. However, he forgot to delete the reply to Sneeko, which is still up. And of course, there's no apology. So yeah, it says it was he replied to someone else. Here, let me put up my other screen now. I'll just so when you get a second here.
There we go.
So, all right, let me put up the other screen now. So as you can see, it's Dean Responds here, being the beautiful Dawa loving person that he is. And someone replied to it. As you can see, this is definitely because it says it was deleted. He says, why would I have sympathy for an Islamophobic Zionist hate preacher who is actively supporting a genocidal state? Of course, you can see this one. Oh, it looks like he replied to me on something. Let's see. Doubt he'll survive that. It's a fatal shot to the neck. The amount of blood loss is almost a certain death. I guess he will be part of those unfortunate people that have to be sacrificed for gun laws to remain. See, what would like it within an hour he had to make it a political about gun laws because that's the kind of person he is.
You think these guys are really opposed to having guns and so on?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to start screenshotting all this because he might be deleting it right now for all we know. I just want everyone to know that unless he apologizes, this stuff is going to stick around. He needs to actually make a Dean. No, we know you're watching. You need to make a public apology about this kind of stuff because we have all the screenshots now. Public apology, Dean. That's what you need to do.
Good luck with
apologize.
Good luck with a public apology from someone like Dean Responds.
Hey, I will say, as a Christian, I pray for you, Dean. I pray you come to the truth, and I pray you do the right thing. Show us you're human. Come on.
We'll see what happens. They're too busy. They're too busy covering for Muhammad Hijab's hotel wife scandals and stuff like that. But I mean, think about the mentality. If you actually think, hey, Hamas was at fault for the October 7th attacks, all right, you got to die. That's what they're thinking. Hey, why? Because you said Hamas is at fault and Hamas is to blame for what happened as a result of their attack. If you say that, these guys, they want you dead. All you're allowed to do is just agree with them. That's all you're allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll check out one more clip.
Looks like if you put it back up, I was just on the page. Dean deleted this stuff in real time. If you throw this back up, I just refreshed the page. It's all gone. It's all gone. Notice it's all gone.
Yeah,
hey,
important. I just want to say, important lesson, everyone. If you're going to criticize or show people what one of these guys has said, screenshot first, then bring it up because we can see they are paying attention and they do like to delete stuff. Just like when they translated their sources and so on, like 30, 40 years ago, we started using their sources to criticize. They started changing their translations to, so that we couldn't, they started deliberately changing translations to avoid the criticism and so on. They love to change stuff and cover stuff up once you start calling them on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this makes me want to do a stream on Dean Responds, and I think I'll just find a video to respond to. I won't bring up this stuff if he. No, it won't be hard. It's this just makes me give him one more attention. Maybe I'll just do a couple streams just to give him some more stuff. Maybe I'll do some shorts, some streams. Maybe I'll just spend a month doing some stuff to give him some headaches that he's now has to track down. If he wants to be that kind of person, he can prevent all that if he just makes a public apology. Just say, hey, I misspoke about Charlie Kirk. I'm sorry I said those things. He was a human being. We should not wish the death on anyone. I pray for his family. Something like that would be nice. Listen, I've told you in the past, I want to stay out of the whole Gaza war because I don't know much about it. I have never celebrated the death of anybody dying in Gaza. Not even the terrorist. It always grieves me. And that's one of the reasons I've wanted to stay out of it. The other reason is that I just don't know what's fact from fiction based on everything I'm seeing on X. Like, there's so much misinformation going around about this war that I don't know what to believe. So, like I have never celebrated the death of anyone. You should never do that. Like, even when, like, Osama bin Laden was killed. Like, that's a tragedy. He was a terrorist. People died, but we shouldn't celebrate or want his death. We should always be praying that they repent and come to the truth, whoever they are.
Yeah, I've said before, you could be the worst ISIS jihadi until your dying breath. I want what's best for you, and that would mean you turning away from your terrorist ways and repenting and turning yourself in to face the consequences for the horrible things you've done. If you don't do that and you die, guess what? You reap what you sow. That's on you. That's on you. You're the one who decided to go down that road. Anyway, wild, crazy stuff. Let's check out.
If I ever have, like, in a heat of emotion, celebrated some evil terrorist death, like, apologize. Shouldn't be doing that. But still, I mean, this is nothing comparable to what Charlie Kirk did or said. He was calling for nonviolence for conversations. Like, he wasn't celebrating the death of women and children. He was arguing that we should talk about these things. He put the blame on Hamas. You may disagree with that, but he wasn't celebrating the deaths of anyone dying in Gaza, as far as I can tell.
Here's a clip from MSNBC after Charlie Kirk was shot, and then the guest was suggesting maybe it's one of his gun-toting fans was shooting out of joy and glee.
Yeah, and again, emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this.
An MSNBC guest sickly speculated that the person who shot Charlie Kirk in the neck could have been one of his supporters firing a gun in celebration.
So Charlie Kirk is shot. What do you think happened there? Well, maybe since he's pro Second Amendment, there are obviously going to be plenty of cowboys around with guns, shooting them in the air, going, "Yeehaw, we love our guns here in Utah," and then maybe accidentally shot Charlie Kirk in the neck.
These elitist, pompous assholes that put that, like, you can tell these are just elitist, pompous assholes sitting in their mansions, making their six-figure salaries, going, well, maybe one of the simpletons fired his gun off and accidentally hit poor Charlie. This is how this comes across to these people. This is why, like, there's a great saying that goes around the internet: you don't hate the media enough. It's very true, and very true.
Pretty evil, pretty evil. Let's see what they got to say here.
We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, the guest told MSNBC anchor Katie Tur after Kirk was shot at a Utah university Wednesday. We have no idea, he told the Liberal Network. We don't know any of the full details of this. The twisted speculation came shortly after Kirk was shot while on stage during a stop at Utah Valley University, where he was kicking off his American Comeback tour. The shot rang out just as Kirk answered a question from an audience member about mass shootings committed by transgender people. Disturbing viral video circulating online shows thousands of spectators running in panic. The shooter is believed to have fired at Kirk from a building about 200 yards away, Fox News reported.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's still correct. And I'm just saying because they originally thought they caught someone and then they said, no, that's the wrong guy. So I don't know if that was the guy who was 200 yards away and that was just totally mistaken, or if it was 200 yards away, but at first they thought they detained the wrong guy or something like that. But anyway, yeah, so it's very difficult right after some of this happens to get any accurate information, and information quite frequently changes by the next day after people have sifted through all the footage and they've figured out who it is and released more details. And did the person like have a manifesto or something like that? All that usually comes out. The more reliable information usually comes out like the next day.
I mean, Kash Patel, the FBI director, did tweet that they have the suspect in custody. I don't know if it was that older guy. Maybe they were. I mean, it could. Here was my thinking. I'm brainstorming here. Maybe it was the older guy, and they didn't want people to attack him as they were arresting him, so they said it's not him. And maybe it really was. Just like, hey, we're trying to take him to justice. Maybe it was someone else, and they also caught him. So either way, the FBI is reporting that they do have some suspect in custody.
The MAGA conservative influencer and CEO of Turning Point USA rose to prominence on YouTube and on X and became famous for his unapologetic and often boldly stated conservative opinions.
So that's Charlie Kirk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Not saying you'd agree with everything he said, but I mean, like, to want him dead, I can't think of one person I disagree with politically that I would, I just wish someone would take them out. Like, I can't, I'm trying to think of people that I had fleeting thoughts. Yes. 'Cause I'm human, but I don't actually want that. This is insane. This is what people are doing because they disagree about politics. And by the way, we're not living in Nepal. We're not living in South Sudan. We're living in the richest country in the world. We have if you're a MAGA Republican, was your life so bad during the Obama years that you wanted to go pick a gun up and go assassinate someone? No. We still have benefits. We still have modern housing and technology. We're still living better than 99.9% of the people on the planet. Just because the political winds shift and move left and right, that does not mean you need to pick up violence. How spoiled are you? How self-centered are you and insecure you are that you think you need to go kill a political activist on the other side for saying things you don't want to hear? And then for the leftists celebrating this, you people have no humanity left. I could not imagine celebrating if this had happened to one of the leftist speakers. I'm trying to think of anyone, Destiny. If Destiny was shot, I would be just as mortified and upset and angry over this, because this is not who we are supposed to be as a country. We're supposed to be better than this now. We're apparently not, though. We're still a bunch of animals that run around and think we can solve issues with guns as the first resort and not the last resort.
All right. You ready for things to get worse? Because I mentioned that when you click on a couple hours ago, when you click on He's Dead, it was a bunch of people celebrating his death. And then I clicked on it hour later or so. And then the top posts were all people mourning his death. But if you click on recent, because that's when you just click on the trend and it's the top ones, then it's all the ones that people have liked and so on, and that's people wishing their condolences and so on. But when you click on recent, you're getting just whoever is posting recently. And so let's check this out. Well, he's dead, so I don't care what people on Instagram think because he's dead. Say what you want, but I won. It's time to start bearing your cross. Wait. Let's see. It's time to start bearing your cross. He's dead but not forgotten. So rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to lie. I don't care much for the Charlie Kirk news. That dude's dumb and annoying and caused potentially irreparable damage to this country. He's dead now. Sucks for him. Just hope his family is going to be safe. Let's see. He's dead. He's dead. And now, I don't know if this is for him or not. So I don't know if this is saying he's dead, therefore I'm free of him, or he's dead and therefore he's free. Can't tell. You'd have to go through that person.
We're like free of him, like he was somehow, because they called him a fascist and an oppressor, and so we're free of him, like this idiots, absolute deranged idiots.
Let's see. All right, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Video of him in front of a bunch of students. He's dead, yes. Showing sociopathic tendencies here speaks a lot to your character. You simply don't like or agree with him, so you're happy he's dead. This is the entire problem to begin with. He's dead. Deal with what about our children? Not sure what this is. Anyone saying to delete the video doesn't want to expose the assassin and doesn't want attention on Charlie. Even after he's dead, it's not enough. They got to keep at it. So in the he's dead trend on X, subhuman liberal scum basically saying that it's okay for someone to be executed for their opinion. Am I getting that right? Yes, it is. It is pretty. This is why, everyone watching, this is why you don't want the, if you disagree with me, it's okay to kill you position to win. Because eventually someone's going to be in power who disagrees with you, right? So even if you don't just believe in it for a moral sake or for rights, if you just want, like, if you're just thinking in terms of selfishness and yourself, if that's the only thing you're capable of doing, you should not want it to become normal where people just massacre each other over their differences of view. You shouldn't want that. Because guess what? There are plenty of people in the world who disagree with you. So Bongo says he's dead. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. And you say he's dead. Apparently, girl, I'm 100% sure he's dead. And then eating an ice cream cone. Ice cream cone here. He's dead. You got all these guys celebrating. He's dead. Yay, they're all celebrating here. We're not going to pretend that Charlie Kirk's job was to lie over and over again. He wasn't a principled debate guy. He was a paid and absolutely shameless piece of garbage propagandist. I mean, he's dead. Can we be serious for a second? He's dead. Let's see. I'm glad he's dead. All the other conservatives next. Wow. I'm glad he's dead. All the other conservatives next. Nothing to worry about there. And not sure what that video is supposed to be. He's dead, but it's not too late. You can rebuild him. You have technology. You can make him better than he was. Better, stronger, faster. Oh, that's a response to Elon saying that they could rebuild him using technology. I guess not sorry. He's dead overall. How do I explain that I'm against political violence and gun violence, but also have no sympathy for him at all, but also my heart goes out to his children for having to watch their own father die, but also I am not at all upset that he's dead. Yeah, you've got some difficult thinking to do about how to express your views.
Now, remember, these are people who are saying that we need to stop Charlie because he's gonna hurt humanity with his policies. Meanwhile, they're celebrating the fact that someone has been killed and now children are fatherless. And do these people actually care about humanity? Like, think about it. Like, really think about it. There's an old saying that, leftists are too busy loving humanity that they forgot to love their neighbor. And quite honestly, it's now manifesting right in these kinds of tweets.
He deserved to die, and I'm glad he's dead, but nobody deserves to be shot, period. So he deserved to die, and I'm glad he's dead, but nobody deserves to be shot. Huh. I know he advocated for gun violence. Did he advocate for gun violence? Or...
No.
Yeah,
no, he never advocated for gun violence.
So they mean he advocates for a right to bear arms, and that's what you mean by advocating for gun violence. So if you say, I believe that people have that U.S. citizens have a right to bear arms, that's you advocating for gun violence. Interesting. Bruh, for real... I think he's talking about Charlie Kirk. Let's see. Say, yes, he's dead. I'm just saying he's an awful, toxic person. Why should I miss him? Why should I mourn for a man who said he'll force his 10-year-old to carry her rape his child because abortion is worse than the Holocaust. So apparently, if we take this person seriously, he said, yes, if my 10-year-old daughter got pregnant and so on, I would not want her to abort the child. Here you have this person. He's dead and celebrating. So seems like a pretty even split between people who are celebrating and thinking, and then between people who think it's bad.
A lot of people celebrating. Now, to be fair to a lot of, I've seen a lot of like liberal leftist accounts condemning this, and good on them. We're not saying all leftists or liberals are evil or celebrating this. I'm talking about these guys here specifically. So please don't take me out of context. I just want to point that out. Like, yeah, there's plenty of people on the left. Like Gavin Newsom condemned it. Good on him. Who else? A bunch of people in Congress did. A bunch of big accounts condemned it. But I mean, like these kinds of tweets are horrifying. I mean, do these people, specifically these people, not everyone on the left, but these people specifically, do these people care about humanity if they're celebrating this kind of stuff? No, they don't.
Lots of people celebrating. He's dead. Yeah, so you have the people who are like saying, "Oh yeah, we disagree, but yeah, he shouldn't have been killed." But these are the people on your side here. Let's see. I don't usually talk about politics, but if you're cheering Charlie Kirk died today, you're messed up in the brain. I get you don't like him, but if you're cheering on death, get help, get off the internet and find help. You sick people need help if you're happy he's dead. That's good. Imagine constantly refreshing the Charlie Kirk tab to get mad at people saying they're glad he's dead. Anyway, the Wicked Witch is dead. Charlie Kirk died. He's dead. And the response to Gavin Newsom, you're part of the reason he's dead. Let's see. Yeah, I honestly couldn't care too much that he's dead. He said a lot of stupid and abhorrent stuff. You get that? You said a bunch of stupid and abhorrent stuff. Therefore, I don't care. Huh. He's dead. He's dead. What's there to cry about? He's dead. I will never forgive him for trying to assassinate me. What in the world? Wild stuff. All right. He's dead. Good riddance. He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Huh.
Yeah, there's a lot of people celebrating it. Like,
I don't care about Charlie Kirk. He's dead and he deserves it.
There's more people that are celebrating this that should be. I mean, like, and this just happened. Like, do his children even know? And there's people out here celebrating this.
And he's dead because of the gunshot. Oh, slay. Again, if you think people have a right to bear arms, then it's just hilarious that you get shot. Again, guys, this would be like me saying, hey, I have a right to have a knife to cut vegetables. And you say, well, therefore you deserve to get stabbed in the throat with a knife. Kind of weird.
You believe in the First Amendment, therefore you have the right to be ridiculed and hated into committing therefore you should be ridiculed and hated into committing suicide with words if you support the First Amendment. Like, same kind of logic.
There we have, you mad? He's dead. He's dead. Responding to Elon Musk there. I was sitting in my college lobby and someone screamed, he's dead. And the only people I will feel sympathetic for is the people who had to watch that happen right in front of them. Huh. He's dead. And then it's, no one mourns the wicked. No one mourns the wicked. Huh. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. So, guys, that was all in the last 30 minutes with all the people saying all that stuff. So, crazy, 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 messed up times. Guys, I know we have a ton of super chats, but doesn't seem like a good time to just sit here going through super chats and so on. So I'm assuming that people saw the super chats they wanted to see and have read those and so on. Lots of people, mourning the death of Charlie Kirk and so on. But yeah. All right, IP. Anything else before we close out?
Okay, everybody. Rise up. You need more people. You wanna make America more Christian? You wanna make the world more Christian? That's what Charlie wanted. Who's going to rise up and do what he was doing? We need a lot of people. We need people to fund ministries and organizations doing that kind of work. We need people to create large families to raise up the next generation. We need people to go out and also do the activism. Okay, there's 6,000 of you watching. It means every one of you has got to play a part in that. So what's your part? Do it. We all need this, or his memory will be in vain. I don't think anybody wants that. So who's going to work their ass off to make the world a better place now? Not with violence, but with activism, or aiding the activism, or raising up the next generation to carry on the message. We all have a part to play. Stop at this point. And I've said it before, your goal as a Christian is not the American dream for yourself. Your goal is to make the world a better place for the next generation. And so you know what to do. Let's get to work.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing to think about carefully, ladies and gentlemen, is you don't know how much time you've got here, right? I mean, Charlie probably thought he had plenty of years left to do all the awesome things that he wanted to do, and you don't know how much time you got. So be wise with your time. And if you support what Charlie was doing, as IP was just pointing, you got to go and do it, right? You got to go and do it. Everything he was trying to do in the country, it's stuff that other people can work on. So there's that. Also, as I've already mentioned, notice how everyone who wants to tear down Western civilization is glad to work together, even though they have very different ideologies. What? They all share that goal. So you're jihadis, you're communists, you're socialists, all kinds of various positions. They're all united in tearing things down. And as I pointed out, we were warned. We were warned by the founding fathers. This system does not work for everyone. It works for people who can handle these freedoms responsibly. If you ever get to a point where you don't, the system's going to break down. Once again, the system has started breaking down because that advice was not heeded. And so we're in a situation right now where you have some people, Charlie Kirk is the representative of this side, who are saying we need to go back to being a moral and virtuous and religious people so that we can still have these freedoms. And you have other people want the system to break down because they want to replace it with something else. They want to replace it with communism, socialism, an Islamic state, something else. They want to replace it. That's why they work together. They all agree we have to tear down the system that is there and so on. So guess what? It's not set what's going to happen. It's not set right now. You still have an opportunity to stop the system from breaking down. And you have an opportunity to make it break down even faster. IP gave you some advice on what to do if you want the system to not break down. You can heed that advice, or you can do something else. I guess we'll have to wait and see. What happens, everyone.
I mean, all right. I'm gonna be working harder. This isn't gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep going. Now this just makes me want to just be more of a workaholic, I guess. But yeah, it's this isn't gonna stop any of us.
Yeah, and tomorrow is 9/11. I think I will be working all night long to get out a pretty good video for the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Think I'll make it about our good friend Zohran Mamdani. And we know which side of all this he's on. So good time to expose some agendas. All right, everyone. Be sure to, one of the most important things that you can do is learn how to defend Christianity, learn how to defend the great things that Christianity has done for the world. So be sure to follow IP's channel if you're not already. And we'll have some awesome stuff coming out for you. Catch you all next time.